What's up, FCS fans? I'm Ray Ryan with your Ivy League update. Now, the Ancient Eight was well represented during this year's NFL draft and in undrafted free agent signings, so I wanted to give you a roundup of the Ivy Leaguers headed to the next level. The first player to hear his name called was Princeton's Seth DeValve, who was chosen by the Cleveland Browns in round 4 with the 138th pick overall. The former Tigers tight end is all over the Princeton record books with 122 career catches and 1,336 yards, good for 10th and 13th place respectively all time. DeValve's selection was the highest ever for a Princeton Tigers football player in the modern era of the draft, and he will now join a Browns team that is looking to rebuild under head coach Hugh Jackson. Princeton coach Bob Surace actually worked with Jackson on the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff, and Surace has called his former colleague a high-energy guy with a very creative offensive mind. And we only had to wait 32 more picks for Harvard's Cole Toner to come off the board, as the Arizona Cardinals chose a talented offensive lineman in the 5th round at number 170 overall. The FCS All-American was a downright stud for the Crimson last season, anchoring an O-line that helped produce a league-leading 36 points and 474 yards per game. And Toner could not be going to a better city, as 2 of his aunts live near Phoenix, and he's already familiar with the area and should have a solid support system. As I mentioned, several Ivies have also signed free agent deals, and that list includes Penn's Ryan O'Malley, who was signed with the Raiders, Dartmouth's Jacob Flores with the Packers, and Vernon Harris with Kansas City. And also 4 more players from Harvard have found NFL homes. Ben Braunecker is signed with the Bears, Scott Hush in Detroit, Anthony Fabiano with the Ravens, and Adam Redmond in Indy. Now, before we wrap up, I also have to acknowledge the success that several players have had off the field, as 47 Ivy Leaguers were recently named to the 2016 National Football Foundation's Hampshire Honor Society. To be eligible, a student needs to maintain a 3.2 GPA while meeting NCAA-mandated progress toward their degree, and while being a starter or significant substitute on their team. Brown topped the distinguished list with 16 players, followed by Yale with 15 and Harvard with 9. And finally, an interesting note for you Crimson fans and football history buffs: Harvard has extended its online video archive to include football games going back to the 1930s. You can now search by opponent, date, or player name, and the videos are available for Blu-ray and DVD purchase at harvard.cloud.pixel.com. With your Ivy League football update, I'm Ray Ryan.
Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms for any news or updates around the FCS.